Let's talk about reading music as a singer. Is it something that you need in order to train your voice, or is it not a prerequisite? That's the theme of our discussion today. Let's dive into it. Hi, and welcome back to this new episode. Today we're going to be talking about the ability to read music. See, many beginner singers, they believe that you need to be able to read music before you can actually learn to sing. And maybe that's a question that you've been asking yourself as well. Like, do I need to know where the A, B, C, D, E, F, G is on the staff before I can actually learn to sing or not? And, I get where that idea is coming from, or I get where that question is coming from, because we've all heard that music is a language. And so when you want to speak a certain language, you need to learn that. And if music is a language, then that means you need to learn that language before you can actually practice it. And so, yes, it is very handy to read music and to talk about music with your fellow musicians, but is it really necessary in order to train your voice? That's the question that we're asking ourselves today. And here in Belgium, I don't know where you're tuning in from, but here in Belgium, there is this traditional music or even singing path that singers or musicians used to have to go through in order to become a singer, right? So I don't know how that is in other countries, but I know that, I remember that here in Belgium, now it's getting more evolved, but in the older days, you had to start with some classes of music theory and solfège and all those things before you can actually start playing your instrument. And the voice was considered an instrument. That's how the traditional route goes here in Belgium. So it's not normal that people have this conception of, I need to be able to read music before I learn to sing. So it's very normal that, this thought comes up for us because it's something that has been ingrained in our system for so long. Now, the truth is that it's not necessarily something that you need to do or you need to know in order to train your voice. So many singers, they think they need to be able to read music, but the truth is it's not about reading music. It's about training your vocal muscles and training your internal hearing. If you are a musician and you're playing keys or you're playing guitar, then yes, knowing what chords are, what clefs are, what a tempo is, all those things is very handy if you play an instrument. Why is that? Well, the sheet music will tell you how fast to play a certain song, will tell you what notes to play a certain song, it will tell you what key that you're in, so it will tell you many things. As singers, as vocalists, we can get all of that information from our ears, not necessarily from the sheet music. And that's where it gets interesting. As singers, we don't necessarily need to see the sheet music in order to hear what needs to be sung. Especially if you're doing covers, if you're singing covers from other singers, then you can listen to what the original artist is doing, and then you can copy that in your own way, obviously. But you can hear where the music is going. You can hear what the melody is, what the rhythm is. You can hear all of that. You don't necessarily need to read that. Now, that being said, is it handy to read music? Yes, especially if you want to collaborate with other musicians. So if you want to have a band, if you want to maybe sing in a choir, or maybe you want to sing in an a cappella group, I don't know. It is very handy to talk to these other musicians in the same language. So if someone says, oh, we're in the key of G, then, it's nice for you to know that the key of G might not fit your voice for that particular song, right? So Do you need to read sheet music in order to be able to sing? No. It's all about the training of your vocal muscles and the training of your inner hearing, and really listening to the music, knowing where it's going, and knowing what is expected of you. So it's not a prerequisite, but is it handy? Yes. It is very handy when you collaborate with other musicians. And if you don't focus on training your vocals first, if you don't focus on training those vocal muscles and training that internal hearing, well, then you might lose a precious amount of time first learning how to read music before actually following your passion. And that's where I see many singers going through the traditional routes here in Belgium, where they have to first learn all the music theory before they get to those singing lessons. They started coming to me because I did not require them to learn sheet music first. And so if you only focus on reading music first, then there's a good chance that you might lose your passion. And we don't want to have that. We want you to do what you want to do from day one. And if that's singing, well, then let's sing. And if after a few months throughout your singing journey, you notice that you're missing some things, like understanding of chords or understanding of where the notes are on the sheet music, then you can add that to your practice. But the first step is always vocal training. And to help you do that, I have a free training coming up. It's called Discover the Most Important Vocal Technique. And I kid you not, it is, in my opinion, the most important vocal technique that you need in order to sing anything you want and really get that vocal freedom, singing high notes, low notes, all the notes in between. So I would highly, highly, highly encourage you to sign up for that training as your homework for this week. I'll link to it in the description here below. But that's the idea that I wanted to communicate with you today. It's not about learning to read sheet music first. It's about training your vocal muscles first. So sign up for that training so that you can get started. And then if you are curious to learn more about the sheet music world, then we can dive deeper into that. But I hope this episode today gave you some more clarity around that question. If you have any other questions regarding this topic, please leave a comment right down below, because I'm here to help you and support you along the way. I just want to thank you so much for joining me today. And I really can't wait to see you here again soon next week. Talk soon. Bye.